Alright, I'm back. So, where we left off. So, on left side, Agent Doc, we got our IPC Timeout login status, and right side, YouTube pin status, pin comment. So, alright, let's start with the IPC Timeout login status. So, IPC Timeout just happened. This is actually before I went to bed, so, and then I got a phone call, so just picking this up the next day. Alright, so I timed out. The boundary reposition IPC runs after git commit, right? That's moving the boundary down. The plugins watch service polls every 500 milliseconds. Okay, so I wanted to use file descriptors ideally in events. There's a tight window. The commit may have triggered a VCS refresh. It kept the plugin busy processing delayed patch consumption. Okay. Current behavior is correct. The disk write fallback works. The user sees. Okay, so seems like okay. So we have a what is it? 2-second timeout, right? Is that what it is? Yeah. So okay. So we improved the logging. It's good. And this basically caused an external write to the file, so it would pop up that dialog saying this file was externally modified, or it would be a cache issue. So I want to avoid that, but we also want to get the patch in on the file as well. So this is kind of the fallback mechanism. So yeah, I'm not really sure. It shouldn't take. I don't know why it's taking 2 seconds to write to a file. Seems like something is not working right to me, but it definitely smells fishy to me. Alright, so skip IPC for reposition entirely. The disk, okay. Only when the boundary needs moving, which is only when the user types. Yeah, but I would say I don't want to skip IPC because the UX is horrible when there is a cache conflict caused by the disk write. I sometimes lose content. The pop-up while typing is sudden and jarring, and I sometimes press ESC by, I guess, instinct or by habit to not include which does not include the which basically rejects the external write. CRDT is essential here. Okay, the batch boundary reposition with the response patch. Batch boundary reposition with response batch. Okay, could do that. Okay, so basically 1 and 3 are our two options. I kind of do like 3. I still don't know why we had the timeout in the first place, so I think I want to understand why timed out. The boundary reposition runs after git commit. The plugin's watch service polls every 500 milliseconds with 10 polls at 100 millisecond interval. I don't get that. So this is why I like file descriptors too. Can we, so I'm not fully understanding the poll cycle. If we can use FD watcher and evented FD watcher instead, let's do that. Let's do that. So that would also be an alternative, but oh, okay, so we still need to deal with this mitigation. So yeah, I guess we can just monitor with the logging improvement, and then we can either do the batch boundary. So I would say let's log, or let's add this decision. Let's add a decision between option 1 and 3 in agent pending. Let's add a task to monitor for timeouts with a decision if a timeout occurs. So I guess what those, it looks something like so something like the following paraphrase: pseudo structure, like the following structure. So this would be monitor for timeout, or look out for, watch for timeout, or I would say if poll, or if a timeout, what kind of timeout is this? IPC timeout occurs. Timeout occurs either increase timeout, or there we go. All right, so now jumping here to the YouTube pinned comments. So we're missing, Corky's missing a YouTube comment feature. Set of, or instructions. Current YouTube commands: auth, draft, publish, edit, checklist. No comment supported. Feature implementation, YouTube comment. Okay. Yes. Yes. And we can pin. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't directly, we don't have a pin for V3. Pin is only available through the YouTube Studio UI. Post the comment, pin it manually. Okay. What are you talking? Oh. Okay. Tell me more about the... Okay, yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. I don't mind, sometimes if it's undocumented, it might be fragile, and it might also be, fragile but last for years too. So who knows? Or we could just use a browser to drive it with our upcoming plugin, but that's not done yet. So implement pin track pinning API support as a future enhancement. Okay. I would say implement features. I would say implement YouTube comment. What did I do there? Huh. Implement YouTube comment. And we also want to add a, I would say, discuss using the CRDT API to pin the comments, and I would say write a comment. Well, I guess we should release first. So let's just stick with this. We'll stick with the short discussion, and then I won't have a whole plan, contingency plan sequence. Sometimes I don't want to like jump too far ahead, because we're predicting a lot of different steps, and also LLM, like, assume, we're making assumptions that everything's going to go well with the LLM too. So, that's a big ask right there. Sometimes, new information comes to light as well that changes the direction of things. So, all right. So we have a snapshot only boundary reposition, change approach, commit now repositions. Oh, I guess it implemented this one. Okay. The working tree is never modified during the commit. Why this works. Agent doc write already reinserts a boundary at the end of the exchange. Apply patches overrides. The ensure boundary IPC flag handles missing stale boundaries in the working tree. Okay. The snapshot has the correct boundary position for the diff computation. Okay. The working tree boundary may be stale, but the right path handles this gracefully. All right. So reposition via IPC or disk is removed, eliminated. Okay, cool. We don't need to do that. Okay, so I guess let's just test this out, see if it works. Reposition boundary in content, eliminated all you needed. All working tree writes from commit only snapshot is modified. Okay, so commit now does 0 working tree writes, snapshot head marker stripped, boundary reposition, working tree untouched, no files cache conflicts. Okay. Alright, so binary installed. Alright, so let's do our next steps. So implement. Let's see what else we got. I guess we should do that last. Combined AST doc submit. We should discuss that. Alright, I guess we'll do that, and then I'll do this too. This one's pretty. This one seems pretty lightweight, and I'll do this one. The AST markdown seems pretty. The AST migration could be. It's pretty straightforward, I guess, because basically it's wherever we use regexes, we should just use the AST for markdown operations. I thought that we were already, I kind of assumed that when we introduced pull down CMark, we did the migration, but I think we only did it in like one function. So that's why we weren't, we still used the old regex parsing everywhere else, I guess. So this should fix that. All right. The YouTube side, we're still going. All right, cool. Migration is much smaller than expected. All right, that's a nice little flash. So yeah, again, I was like thinking about having like a window for all this activity, but I think we need like full parity. Basically, we need to, as much as possible, replicate the terminal within here. And the problem is that we can't really do scrolling. You know, like if we were able to somehow achieve scrolling, I think that would be really cool. We could like have like a scrolling terminal in Markdown. In fact, I think we can actually. I think actually I got an idea. This is pretty wild, but we can implement scrolling, but I can imagine it. I can definitely imagine it, but it would basically kind of be like you could have components, and you could, if you could simulate like a button press or like, hit like X over here or something, or something to affect like two buttons. Let's say we have like a, here, maybe I'll make a scratch pad. Scratch file. Okay, so we'll do like Markdown. So let's say we have like a terminal. We could have here like a scroll up, scroll down, but scroll down won't be there if we're always at the head, so this will kind of like pop in and out, and I'll have like question marks here. So these are both like, if you're at the top, we won't have scroll up, and basically if you can somehow like implement this, like go like that or something, or I don't know, X or whatever, go, or we could actually, and then submit, then we can actually cause it to do something, and then you could just have a scrolling content, line 1, line, like basically it's just an animation really. So this will be like frame 1, and then we can do frame 2, and then we can do, so in frame 1 we won't have a scroll up and we won't have a scroll down. Frame 1 will have a scroll up, no scroll down. Maybe we'll make it like another one, just a 3. Oops. Okay, so now we got that, and then let's say we want to scroll up. We could just go back to, and we can have her scroll down, and then let's say we want to go up one more layer. We won't have scroll up anymore. So this would kind of be our animation here, our interaction with this component, and we'll have to like figure out the best way to like press a button. But we could just do a keyboard, or like a type something or whatever, but I'll think about it. Maybe a hotkey. Another thing is we could just do a hotkey, and then that would insert like a special symbol. Then it would then do it. So it would be like a button press. So interestingly enough, you can basically simulate an entire user interface with Markdown, which actually would be kind of cool. I feel like you can definitely do a lot of stuff with that. I mean, it won't be as powerful as a TUI or anything like that, but you can definitely do a lot with it. So definitely a lot of places to explore there. All right, so binary installed. Okay, we're still implementing. I think we did the AST migration, and yeah, I need to, in a follow-up release, I want to make things a little bit more dynamic. So like supporting by the way right away, and also have like we should have already seen the result of this markdown AST migration, but at least some of the chain of thought, but we didn't. So yeah, so kind of coming back here, I guess we can do some chain of thought stuff as well. It doesn't have to be terminal. It could be, you know, thoughts or chain of thought or whatever. But, you know, I think that basically it's just a window that changes too. So, all right, so we got this done. Oh, both sides are done at the same time, of course. Okay, so specmd updated. Section 8.4 stash window routing document stash lexicon variates and 0 working tree rights contract markdown AST migration assessment plus partial implementation. Okay, so it's already in code base, right? We know that. And doing hard work via find code ranges. The assessment found that most scanning functions cannot be cleanly replaced because pull down CMark treats HTML comments as opaque. Uh-oh. Event HTML. The agent marker semantic still needs manual parsing. Shoot. One clear migration candidate was found and implemented. Outline RS heading det manual on my phone. Heading det. Okay, so one clear migration candidate was found and implemented. All right, cool. Heading det manual line scanning replaced with collect heading using parser new ext into in offset iteration. Okay. The heading depth. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Awesome. Crazy. So I need a, what am I missing? I'm missing pull down CMark, I guess. That sucks. This is an agent loop, agent doc. I should have agent doc here. This is Rust. So why is it not? I don't know why it's not. I'll have to take a closer look at as to why we're not getting everything. All right, so we have our parser. So that's interesting that we're creating a new parser though every single time we do something. I feel like we could be more efficient with this. Like we should only have one parsed entity just to make this more efficient. Or okay, so we do some, we iterate, and we get the heading level to depth. Okay, how do we, okay, I guess we get the level from the parser. That's cool. All right, awesome. So now handle set ext headings correctly ignores headings inside code blocks. Cool. 5 new tests added. Dry fix. Find comment n was duplicated by. Okay, awesome. So can we share a parser, I guess, instance, parser instance across, you know, during an entire run? I don't know if I want to do this until maybe we use lazily for that. This is something that lazily would be good for. So lazily rs is made to share via is made to share or made to lazily cache instances, you know, like, yeah, instances for it's made to lazily cache instances like this, like this. This CTX object would be passed down the call stack and parse, you know, and a slot for the parser instance of the snapshot of the document snapshot can be used. So this allows us to dog food lazily rs. All right. CRDT merge. Oh, I guess I should turn my light. It's probably dark here. So CRDT merge ordering. Research complete. Root cause. Client ID swapped. Okay. Virus placed higher client ID first. Human content appears before agent content. Recommended fix. Agent. Okay. This gives native correct ordering. Agent before human. I guess so is. I mean, I guess so. Because the CRDT merge ordering is interesting because, you know, I guess does this preserve the is it semantics of having, or preserve the behavior of having the of having prompts added before the agent boundary so complicated to explain. It's like I need a name for this. This is where like a name symbol would be very helpful. Before, so add before the agent. So the behavior of that of ordering prompt relative to patch response patch while the prompt was being typed, you know, if you know, when the prompt is being typed as agent doc run was processing. So basically are all use cases with the, you know, regarding human prompt and response patch ordering satisfied correctly. All right, so let's go ahead and run down that. All right, back to the YouTube. So that's exciting. We're using lazily now. I'm really partial to lazily. I've been basically working on this concept for over a decade now, and it's a very powerful concept. You know, I mean, you pass, it's a dependency injection. You pass the context down. It's very similar to how Odin works, except you explicitly pass the context. So Odin, or you know, like Odin or React or whatever, you know, all these libraries, they implicitly pass the context. This explicitly passes the context, and I actually find, I prefer that actually, because it's explicit. You know exactly when the context is being used, and some functions don't require the context, so they're completely like pure in that sense. So it's kind of like a meta, not meta, but it's like a big old object. It's like object-oriented programming, but it's a big old object of state. It's like your state object. And yes, there are like conditions to where it's not the best technique, especially when you get into data-driven variations of an object. But, because it's really domain-driven variations, that's what it really does well. Like if it's a domain type, that you can like name, that you would name, then it's great. And that's been good enough for me. Like, you can do the data-driven variations as a separate object. So, it's like the next layer down, basically, within the graph, within the data graph, the reactive or the lazy data graph. All right, so the parser caching plus CRDT ordering correctness. All right, it's a streaming iterator. It's consumed as it iterates, so it can't be reused, but the results can be cached. Okay, so find code ranges returns a vec called by 8. Okay, so I guess if we just stream it, yeah, it's not getting it. It doesn't understand what lazily is, because it's like treating this like a normal context, which I don't really want to do. I mean, we could. Lazily also supports context objects like this too. I mean, they're just basically structs. So, all right. I guess the question is, do we want to do caching? I think let's avoid caching for now. You also don't understand lazily. But because basically we would just extract out different functions for these three things. So these three things would be their own slots. Well, unless you treat this as like an immutable object, which is possible. Yeah, that would work too. You could get like a SHA. You'd save the SHA, and you would know what the SHA, you could just compare the SHA. If it's the same, then this cache would apply. Okay, good. Add to pending. Okay, thank you. I would say only comments. Well, let's look at pending here. Okay, so we need to revisit the context plus slot API, or lazily does support a struct. I mean, I guess we could just use a doc context, but let's revisit the context of thought. Okay, so we also might not use lazily. We also may not use lazily rs right or any caching. We also may not need caching at the moment. Right now depends on performance. Okay. CRDT ordering all scenarios verified. Depends on performance, on streamed performance. Yeah. I don't know like how long it takes to parse a like a complex markdown file, but if it takes a while, then sure, we should add it. But we should also use a streaming parser as well. Does was it like CMark? support streaming parsing, like SACs. I don't know if we want to go that far, but if performance is an issue, but this would be like the preferred option probably, and caching would also be part of the caching with lazily RS would be part of the discussion. Okay. CRDT ordering, all scenarios verified. Okay. Cool, correct. Native correct, okay, same. Okay, so agent appends, user idle, user types at the end of the response, user edits mid-document during response, current is not fixed, native correct. Okay, I guess. Okay. I don't know what native correct means. The flip is strictly better. Okay. I guess it means it's just correct by design, I suppose. Boundary-based insertion. Okay, cool. All right, let's do it. The reorder agent before human function can be removed entirely. All right, I'm excited. Yes. So when the user types in the prompt, agent doc is processing, base, agent inserts, boundary position, human inserts, new prompt at the end of the boundary. YRS merge agent 2, higher, existing response, new prompt, correct. Okay. The boundary marker already determines insertion position for the agent. This CRDT ordering only matters for the leftover content in the same position. Since agent equals 2 goes first, the response appears before any concurrent human text at the same position. This is correct. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Alright, finally back to YouTube. Implement YouTube comment Creator Studio API. YouTube comment implement. Oh, cool. We built it. We have our changes here. YouTube comment. Awesome. Add tests. Update spec.md. Update readme md. After posting, it prints the comment ID for manual printing. For easy manual pinning. Okay. Need to re-auth YouTube token expired. Run. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, shoot. I need to be in the mail directory. I think I have it here. Oh. Yeah, it already tried to do it, but I think I was like asleep at the wheel there. Okay. Let's close those. Alright, so we approved it. Okay, done. Creator Studio pinning deep dive. The YouTube, we have no endpoint for pinning comments. The only known approach is the private inner tube API. Inner tube API, lovely. Okay. How it works. Request body with context client and actions array containing a base64 encoded protobuf blob with the comment ID, channel ID, and action type. Auth is the same. A working Go implementation existed. Okay. Oh, that's 2023, but it's broken in 2025. Wait. So now requires so if we, I guess, if we were to implement on top of the existing prototype, go implementation. Would this work? For now, okay. Multiple users confirmed. No maintained open source implementation exists. I would say that if we were to do this, we'll make this like speculative. Like it'll attempt to run, and if it fails, it'll just, you know, print something out and say you have to do it manually. Okay, so extract. Oh, I see. So we could do browser automation. All right, that's a good point. So I would say let's make a note to track. Well, I don't mind reverse engineering, but so basically this would be, so would this mean I manually pin a comment and capture, so I capture the network activity? I don't know if I want to do that actually. Okay. I gotta pause. I gotta turn my Wi-Fi on.